There's a lot of like really random shit online that people stream, and I think that's one of the top that I've ever heard that is like the weirdest.
Yeah, it's completely insane. I was just like, that's fucking. And then you know the Fine Brothers, right? Those dudes on YouTube. That's where I saw it from. And then like the funny part is, dude, the Japanese, I realized in the video, they give no fucks. Like, because like they were showing them this, right? And the Japanese dudes are like, okay, when are they gonna get naked or whatever? And I'm like, wait, what?
Wait.
And then literally, that's what they said. He's like, when do they get naked? I was like, wait, are you kidding me? And then they told him like, oh, do you want to reproduce this, right? So they're like, yeah, and they give him like a piece of cake, and they're like, the Japanese dude, there's like 3 Japanese dudes, and then one in the middle just starts stripping while the other 2 eat. I was like, what the hell? Like, the Japanese literally just don't give a fuck.
Which way did I? Shit, I don't know how to exit from here. Oh, there we go.
Fuck.
I'm doing that mission where I have to patrol on Venus.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So here's something I was wanting to get on the topic of, if we're free on topics. Is the topic open again?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so
Hi, Anime Folio. Welcome to the stream.
it's linguistics, almost.
Right.
You know what that is?
Yeah,
What
kind of.
What in Canada that you know of, based on like talking to American friends,
Alright.
do you like a thing that you have in Canada that we have in the US, but you call it something different?
That's difficult, actually. Oh, actually, well, what would you call orange soda?
Orange soda.
No, like, what's the brand there?
What is it?
Because
Oh,
for us, remember we were
Sunkist.
having this talk. We were,
Sunkist.
yeah. See, Sunkist for us is something else here. It's a C plus. It's the same product. It just has a different branding.
Gotcha.
Like, is that what you're referring to, like branding? No, we
like,
have Trailer Park Boys here too, but it's
say-
the same thing.
Say like in Ohio,
Yeah.
we call it pop, right? Well, in southern
Are you still
states,
referring
they
to the
call
drink?
it- Yes.
Okay,
in
yeah.
southern, no, like any drink, like Mountain Dew and all that, we would call that pop. But in southern states, it could be Mountain Dew, it could be Pepsi, it could
No,
even
but
be
you
Coke.
see-
they call it Coke.
But no. But here's the thing: like, you're not gonna have Mountain Dew in a southern state, and then somebody's like, "Yo, can you have me that Coke?"
Yeah, they do. They do say that.
Literally do. They call every
Okay,
soda
but-
Coke. So if you
Yeah,
Seriously?
they
Go
call
to a
every single
restaurant in the
soda
South,
Coke.
But then, how do you differentiate between wanting Mountain Dew and wanting a Coke?
You say an orange Coke, a fucking, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
or like, not necessarily Coke, but some people call it soda, right?
Oh,
like we
okay.
call it pop in Ohio.
See,
We would
soda.
refer to any carbonated drink as pop. Let's get some pop.
That's
But,
fine.
Like in a different state, they could say soda. Like, of course, there's people in different states that would call it pop, but like
See,
the vast majority.
in Canada, regardless of where you are, if somebody were to ask you for a Coke, and they're referring to something else, they'll bring you a Coke. Like,
yes,
if
that
you,
would be Ohio. That would be Ohio. We would bring you a Coke.
yeah, but like if you want a Coke, and on the shelf there's like a Coke, Sprite, say a Sunkiss, which we would refer to as C plus, right? Like, and you'd be like, "Oh, I want the Coke," and you're pointing at like the Sprite. The person's gonna be like, "You mean the Sprite?" And then at that
Yeah,
point, you'd
that's what-
realize that they're calling everything a Coke. If you ask for
We
a
do that in Ohio
soda,
too.
yeah, so
is
like
what I'm
we'll.
saying.
The thing is, here you'll differentiate between the brand, like is what I'm essentially trying to say. But like if somebody
Oh.
were to say like, you know, can I get a soda? They're gonna say, what kind do you want? Like there's
Gotcha.
there's
Or,
no
some
like
people
general
call it,
term
like-
for it.
Like from Subway, what would you call that you get?
But we have a Subway
if you
too.
went to
There's a
Subway.
Subway Canada.
But what would you call it that you buy?
A sub.
like the sandwich itself. What kind
A
of
sub.
shit?
A sub.
Some people call it a hoagie.
I've never heard of
Right.
that term. There's a girl
Oh,
that I
that's like a
used to
West-
work
that's
with,
like an East Coast thing.
but
Yeah, that's
There's-
what I'm talking to.
the long A in the car. No, we don't say, we don't put a long A in car. Car is car. End of story. Sorry, somebody in the
Wait,
stream
what?
is saying car might be one thing that we say. The A is actually, it's EH. It's not even pronounced with a couple of A's. That's just like, sort of like that random sound that we throw in to, like while we're thinking. Like somebody might say, or something like that.
Oh,
People
yeah,
might
we'd
keep
say,
saying,
all the time.
or that thing, what do you call it? Like, it's just like a sound that we say while we're thinking, pretty much.
Gotcha.
That's all it really is.
Or
There's some
almost
people
like,
that'll
I
use
feel
it for
like you
more
guys
than
say
that,
it
but...
when you beg a question too, almost, right?
But at the same time, like, there's a couple of my friends who are like, I don't want to say hardcore Italians, but they're a good cross between an Italian and a Canadian Italian. And when they're talking, one of the things that they'll say at the end of a question makes you question what they're actually saying to you. Like, they'll say something, hey, I took the thing down there, no? And you're like, no, you didn't, or you did? Right? And then the reverse goes with a few of my friends who are Portuguese. Like, they'll say something, and at the end of what they say, they'll be like, yeah, I took him down there, yeah? And I'll be like, you're putting too much at the end there. You're putting the Canadian and the Portuguese in there. He's like, did you bring the pizza? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you put it on there, yeah? I'm like, what? Yeah, put it over there, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, eventually you know what they're saying. You mess with them for, like, that random word jargon that they throw in at the end. But that's all it is. It's just word jargon.
Yeah. Well, like some people around here say, like, right?
every now and then.
Me? Well, I'm not saying that I don't
Yeah.
use it. Like, I will, you will hear me say it, like, here and there, but...
Yeah, I've heard it too.
That's all it is what I'm trying to say. The point I'm trying to make
It's-
is that's what A means. It's not us saying a bunch
And
of letters to extend words, but it's just like random jargon we throw in during a thought.
And I feel like the reason you use it is because people around you use it. Like,
Yeah.
If you, like my wrestling coach, this year, if you cussed, you got 50 push-ups.
Ooh.
Or 25, and then 50 if we were out at a wrestling meet or something. And our coach works at a place where... yes, and our coach did have to do them too.
What, the
But our
push-ups?
coach works at... Yeah. But our coach worked at a place that cussing was the first language there. Like, cussing was the language. And so, like...
For us, it's like that when you learn, when you have somebody who's like, that speaks a different language. Like, when I first picked up on Japanese, I'm not saying picked up in Japanese as in I speak it. I'm saying, like, when I first met somebody who spoke Japanese, the first thing we learned from them immediately was how to swear. And it's pretty much the same with any language. That's the first thing you learn.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so, like, regardless of where you are, like, that's the first. One of my friends...
You can have fun.
Yeah, one of my friends who's English... When we were having a discussion with him with like different things that we say, similar to how you're saying with the English and, or not English,
Spanish.
but when, like the Canadian and the American way of saying things, like it could mean the same thing. Like similar to that, we were talking, having a discussion on that, and the first thing that we immediately started discussing was how we swore.
Or like, I don't know if you're gonna recognize this word, but in Ohio, it's a bug that would go up in a ball, and we'd call them roly-polies.
Is it gray?
But in other places, it's called a pill bug. Yes, it's gray.
Is it gray and it has like a shell on its back?
Yes.
Well, not a shell, but it's...
It looks like an armadillo.
Yeah, we call it potato bugs.
Yeah.
I've heard that too. I say roly-poly though.
Yeah.
That's what I always
roly-poly.
Oh, there's one more thing that I want to know what you guys call there. Shit, what was it?
Don't say the word because we're gonna say that. Try to describe it.
Hold on, I was trying to remember what it was now. I forgot.
Like for pop, I'd say a carbonated drink.
Yeah, so us, if you say a carbonated drink, like if you ever point up at Shell and be like, give me a carbonated drink, we'll ask you what you want versus what we have. But
No,
nobody
like,
here
what
would
would
say
you
a
call it?
carbonated
Like,
drink.
what-
Like, if they want it to be...
It pop? Do you call it soda? What do you call... If I were to put out a question, what would you call a carbonated sugar-filled drink? What
Just
would you
say soda.
That's what you would say.
Yeah.
See, here, we'd say pop.
You could call it a pop too, but here's the thing. Most often you hear somebody call it a soda, but at the same time, like, it would come from somewhere else. Like, there will be people that will just be like, so all you have is just a bunch of sodas or just a bunch of pops. Like, that's what their question would be. Actually, hold on. Let me just check something really quick. I think I'm done with Venus. No, it's two more. Damn it. as far as it goes with drinks, though, like pop can be used or soda can be used. I think they're both used pretty equally. As far as it goes with saying a carbonated drink, like a person, if you were to walk into a place and didn't know what they had to drink and all they had were different types of pops or sodas, whatever you want to call it, a person would just come in and be like, what do you got for drinks? And it could be like a juice, it could be a soda, it could be a pop, it could be an alcohol, a certain type, like anything. It's just, they would say, what do you have to drink? Wait, you guys still there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
nobody's saying
muted.
anything.
No, like, if I was walking into McDonald's
Right.
and or let's say I'm going to a fast food restaurant that I know has pop, but I don't know if it's Pepsi or Coke products.
You can ask them, what do they have?
I would say, what kind of pop do you have?
If you came into Canada and you asked somebody for a drink at like a restaurant or whatever, you would say to them, what kind of drinks do you have?
Yeah.
And then they would tell
I'm
you
saying,
by
like,
brand what they have. Soda
no,
pop,
but if you were
Randy
looking
Hoover,
for
fucking crap.
pop, right? If you knew you were getting pop,
Yeah.
I'm saying, would you walk in and say, what soda do you have, or what
You could
pop
say
do you
pop
have?
or soda. They'll know exactly what you're
But
talking
which
about.
one would
That's what
you
I'm saying,
say most people in Canada would use?
It's hard to say because they're both used equally.
That's
Like, you
the
can go
trouble with
anywhere,
it.
and nobody will say to you, if you were to say pop or soda, nobody will say to you, what's that? Like, that'll never be a question. But if you were to say carbonated drink, they would look at you weird. Because it's gotten to the point
Yeah.
where nobody really says carbonated drink anymore.
Oh yeah.
Logically, we know what a
Need shorten.
carbonated drink is, but if you were to
Yes.
say soda or pop, that would be the most norm.
Yeah.
You were saying something else, Griff? You were asking
Oh,
about another
something in Subway thing. There's a girl I used to work with who actually used to... I've never heard in life anybody in Canada refer to it as this, but she called subs submarines.
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
That's common in the
Yeah,
US.
that's not common
It's a
here.
sub-
And she's from here,
It's
but
a
she
sub
says
or
that.
a submarine. Because you know how you
Yeah.
call submarines, like the actual submarines, you call them subs sometimes.
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The submarine sandwich. The one I never heard of was a torpedo. Someone called it a torpedo once. So I was like, wait, what?
I've heard
Yeah.
people say that too, and it's just the weirdest. Like, I know it's a norm to say that, but like certain places, it's just around like Ontario, I could say, because that's the bulk of the places I've been to. I don't hear anybody say submarine or torpedo. Like, if you're going to Subway, you're
Gotcha.
getting a sub. End of story.
Okay, here's one for you, because I
Yeah.
don't have a word for it.
Describe
What
it, and I'll
do
tell you what it
call- I am.
is. Okay.
What do you call the area between the sidewalk and the road? What do you call that area of grass?
You can just call it like the patch of grass in front of the sidewalk.
No, but what would you call it? That like some people
There's
have
not a name.
words for it.
I don't have a name for it. I've
There
always
is.
just called it that patch of grass before your sidewalk.
Yeah, but like there's a word. Some people do use words for it. What?
I've never heard
Fufa, do
anybody
you
call
have
it a
one?
word. If somebody
I
has
have
called it a
one.
word, I've just never heard of it, or it's
Wait,
something
wait,
that doesn't
describe
come
it
to
again.
mind.
What do you call in a word or a couple of words without spelling it out? The area of grass between the sidewalk and the road.
There isn't one. What?
Yeah, there is.
Just, like, sidewalk,
Some
you
places
the
have
curb,
it, some
and then you
places
put-
don't.
Yeah, some places like normally like busy places. Like if I lived in New York, I guarantee they'd have a word for it because
There's, like, your
in New
main
York,
lawn.
There's not that many.
Yeah, there's like your main lawn, then there's a sidewalk, and then there's like that patch of grass in the front. There are some
Yes.
names I do know that people call it. None come to mind at this time, but I just
Yeah,
call it the patch
that's
of
the
grass
same
in
for
front of your
me.
house.
That's if I never refer to it first of all. But
Nobody
if I
does.
had to refer to it.
What do you
Or what
call
do
that
you
concrete
call-
piece right after the that patch of grass? What do you
Oh,
call that?
the road?
No, before the road. The one, it's like a piece of concrete
sidewalk.
that separates that patch of grass that you're referring
Oh,
to,
the
and
curb.
the road. Okay, yeah. So we call it
The
the same
curb.
thing. I call it either the curb or the curb stop. It's the same thing.
I never heard curb stop.
Yeah.
What do you call an area that normally, not always, or not normally, I shouldn't say that, sometimes has grass that separates two sides of the road?
Wait, what? Say it again.
It's tough to explain.
Oh,
Something.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like a name.
I know what I'd call it, but let me explain.
Are you
it to
saying
Gertz
like
again.
between the street? There's like that grass that
No,
separates
like
road?
you know how streets go both ways.
Right.
In some areas, there's things in between each
Like,
side of
you
the
have, like-
road.
They have,
What
like,
would you call it?
trees or something there.
Like there's trees sometimes, or maybe it's just concrete.
Oh.
What do you call
it? Either we refer to either as a divider.
Yeah.
There's a traffic term for it. I forget what it's called. Either it's a divider or they just call it that strip in the middle. I forgot what the
we
traffic
call it
term
a
for it was.
median or an island.
Yes, island. I've heard of it too. Median, not so often. I think the traffic term might be median. But island, I've heard of that before.